Jimmy from Jacksonville, Florida, with the announcement of Michelle McCool going into the Hall of Fame, the WWE Hall of Fame, there has been internet chatter about other girls that deserve to go in also, notably Victoria. So curious, if Victoria were ever to go into the Hall of Fame, would you like to be the one to induct her? And as a bonus, if you were ever to go into the Hall of Fame, who would you like to induct you? Okay, so we've never talked... I know for people out there must be really surprised. This is the first time we've ever brought Victoria up in one of these shows. She will have a full dedicated episode to her, but I've heard you talk before about just how good Victoria was and why she does deserve a WWE Hall of Fame nomination.
Yeah, she definitely does. Now, I don't think any of these things, Jimmy from Jacksonville, not too far from me, Jimmy, none of these things are going to happen. Number one, my thought is they are not going to induct more than one female into the Hall of Fame this year. I wish it would be Victoria with Michelle McCool, but it seems like they take a category and there's somebody that's focused on that category. So it's kind of like the Warrior Award. They put one person in, correct, with the Warrior Award as well?
It's box ticking, basically. They think one woman, one minority of some sort, and then the rest that they actually want to put in.
One posthumous kind of one sometimes they throw in there as well. So with Victoria, she 100,000% deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. And I think it really would help her because she's on I think she still does the conventions, the autograph circuit, all that stuff. A Hall of Fame induction will help her make more money, get more bookings, and she deserves that. She was a special talent. She still is. I think if she went into the Royal Rumble today, much like during the COVID era, it's still Victoria. She still looks like she did when she worked, and I think she still works once in a while. I don't think she's fully retired. I could be wrong on that. As far as me inducting Victoria, if you've tuned into any of the 35 episodes of the Stevie Richards Show, you will know for a fact that will not happen. In theory, I would love to be the one to literally, I used to call her Flower. I would love to stand up on the stage behind the podium in front of the microphone and literally induct her the way she deserves. Give Flower her flowers, so to say, from that perspective. As far as myself being inducted in the Hall of Fame, that will never, ever, ever happen. And I'm completely fine with that. I am not a Hall of Fame talent. I am not considered to have a Hall of Fame career. And I'm totally okay with that. I want to be a Hall of Fame broadcaster.
Podcaster and showist.
Broadcast. You stop. You son of a bitch. You stop it. Broadcaster, not podcaster. Stop it.
Lisa Marie Varon, the last full year she was working regularly was 2019. So one 2021 Royal Rumble appearance and one appearance on Impact as well in 2023. So I think she's done with the wrestling. But yeah, I mean, I've seen quite a few of the women go in who, I mean, a Tori Wilson, or dare I say, I really wasn't watching much wrestling when Michelle McCool was a big part of the show because I just really hated that era. And so I don't know anything really, not too much about Michelle McCool, other than, of course, she's The Undertaker's wife. So, but Victoria's a slam dunk.
First ballot. First ballot.
She was one of the few women on TV, on WWE television. There was a fully fleshed out, interesting character, not just eye candy. She was really, really good. And I tell you what, it's really annoying. So when you go back on the network, right, they take out so much of the music. And I loved the presentation when she had Tattoo as the theme music as well. And you know, I don't think she was as good as in Impact, but she was still good in Impact. But I really loved that early 2000s run she had with you. That was the best run she ever had in the business, I think.
Oh, I appreciate that. It was an honor to be a part of that act with her and juxtapose usually the female valet and the male dominant wrestler. It was flipped upside down with me being the submissive valet and her being the dominant wrestler. And then for Stevie Night Heat, we switched roles back and kind of had a 50-50 type of thing. Here's an interesting question, and it's a real question for anybody out there because I don't know the answer to this. Vince McMahon was the one that was rumored to be the sole person that would pick who got inducted into the Hall of Fame every year, correct? It wasn't a committee. It was basically Vince that would, I mean, you could suggest it to him, but it was Vince's call who went in, correct?
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay. Well, Triple H is now in charge pretty much of everything. And Triple H was surprised by the Hall of Fame induction, which hinted at the fact of either he's just playing coy or there was another person that he put in charge of the Hall of Fame inductions.
My guess is that there is a committee now, and they probably. I mean, it could have all just been fake, and Triple H knew the entire time. But I mean, there could always be a committee who basically voted for him without his say so, and then announced it publicly so he couldn't say no. Because I mean, if you genuinely are surprised like that, and then you're in the middle of a room full of people being recorded, are you going to say, nope, not for me? I mean, you sort of have to accept the induction, I guess, or the nomination in that
Yeah. I
situation.
mean, the Michelle McCool thing too was on ESPN, and both of them, you knew something was going to happen that way, that bring her on ESPN, that would have some kind of PR spin to it. But that's my, I mean, there's a rumor I did the show with Vince and Ben, and they surmised that it was Undertaker that was in charge of the Hall of Fame inductions and who picks her the final say. I mean, that'd be a great spot for him. Obviously, he's a legend, locker room leader, all that stuff. But I don't know. It would be great if there was actually legitimate voting every year who goes into the Hall of Fame. They can pick the 3 or 4 people, but you legitimately have ballots of who goes in and who might come up on the ballot next year.
Yeah, there's definitely some people, because, as they say, they do the box ticking. And I just don't know why Victoria Lisa Marie hasn't been picked yet. Because there've been some really. And some people I know criticise me when I said, why Stacey Keebler? What, because she married or, went out with George Clooney or something like that? In wrestling, she was only eye candy, and great eye candy. But she never really did anything. And same with Tori Wilson, apart from that thing with Al Wilson, where Dawn
Dawn
Marie
Marie.
sexed her dad to death or something, which was brilliant, by the way. But neither of them were very good wrestlers, and neither, they were just pin-up calendar girls, basically, where Victoria had so much more about her. And she really wanted to get in the wrestling business as well. I mean, she was keen to, she didn't care how many bumps she had to take, or all the training, stuff like that. What I'm saying is she got into it in the right way, I think.
Well, her first bump was pretty much on TV, The Godfather putting her through the table. She was one of the hosts. So I don't know if she was trained then. She was a former bodybuilder. I don't know if she was going to school or she went to school after that bump. I don't know what the timeline is on that.
I think she went up to Jim Ross and just say, I really want to do this, give me some advice. And he actually said, here's OVW, or wherever she went. Or Heartland, I guess. I don't know where it was, but it probably was
Yeah,
OVW.
she was mostly OVW. I remember that.